Back in the old days of Xbox 360 gaming, I was entranced with the revival of the Fallout series. Granted, I had no clue what Fallout was at that point, but my brother and I were at GameStop and begged our mom for the cool looking game in the discount pile. Of all the amazing moments from Fallout 3, the one that stuck out to me most was when the player walks out of Raven Rock to see Fox with a giant energy weapon, saving the day and looking badass doing it. This was the first time I had seen the Gatling laser in the game and I was in awe. Now years later, I have yet to do a playthrough with the gun that amazed me so, and now I ask, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only the Gatling laser? I know this build-up seemed intended for a Fallout 3 video, but you could tell from the thumbnail what type of video it really was gonna be. Let's get to it. We begin with our character. For my specials, I chose to have decent strength, average endurance, high intelligence for skill points, and devilish luck to make my fortune at the casinos. For tag skills, we took energy weapon, repair, and science in hope of bypassing silly little moments in the game. Finally, I took fast shot and good natured as my chosen skill traits. After leaving the good doctor, I rushed to Sloan and healed our beloved Snuffles and his best friend, the Union Generator. As soon as I got the free sign, I ran to the Silver Rush to get a quote on what my choice of weapon would cost. They didn't have it in stock, but did have the Gunrunner Arsenal's unique version, the Spurtlewood 9700, which ran for a whopping 30,000 beans. I stole some items from the Van Graffs to mitigate the actual work I'd have to do to gain some hard dodge, but dishonest work can only go so far. Time for a life lesson, kiddos. It's never too early to invest into the casino tables. First was the Atomic Wrangler. Within minutes, my maxed out luck netted me 6,000 caps. With that, I passed through the strip gates with the Gamora in sight. A lovely thing about this casino is they will also reward you with combat armor for taking their money. We've now made a total of 16,000 caps plus goodies. At the tops, I ran into an old friend. A real quick segue, I recorded this challenge back in October when Matthew Perry unfortunately passed away. I don't think this game will ever really be the same with him gone. He was always the funny guy Chandler, silly suave talker Benny, and even though we never really knew him personally, it's hard to feel like the Fallout fan didn't lose an icon. May he rest in peace. I once again hit the tables, my 10 luck never faltering. We gained another 10,000 in caps. With 26,000 caps in hand, I opted to selling equipment I gained through illegitimate means. Ammo would be something of an issue this run, but not nearly as annoying as back when I did the minigun challenge. I've grown as a person, realized we have the technology. Specifically, the knowledge of waiting 3 days in-game for the shops to reset. I'd buy whatever energy weapon ammo I could find, converting microfusion cells in the sorts into electron charge packs. Now having my beautiful weapon of choice, I was trying to figure out who I would align with for this playthrough. Then it hit me. I'm just gonna be a fucking psycho. I found a member of the Kings and just opened fire with no thoughts. At this point, I'm committed to the bit. Pacer, the King, Sergio, and King members 1 through 12 would be vaporized. Figured I may as well take down Oris, do the King at least one favor in death. I'm gonna need ibuprofen after that one. Mr. Robert motherfucking House was next on my list. Victor let me inside. I gave House's wife, sex bot lady, some snow globes. Then I let myself in and introduced the tech billionaire to some real heavy weaponry. Much like the declining American economy, my mental state was telling me I should keep spiraling. The Brotherhood of Steel was next. I recruited Veronica, who let me into her family home. She really is a sweet character. I repaid this kindness by stealing an excessive amount of microfusion cells from her brothers, safe scumming my way into the pants of the heads of the Brotherhood, and blowing the bunker. Blowing up the bunker, that is. Veronica was upset, understandably so. I'm not a bad man. I comforted her in the only way I knew how, with the warmth of the Gatling laser. I have yet to see the Khans this playthrough, so I walked my ass over to the canyon and introduced myself to Papa Khan the way you would a pretty girl's father, with a firm handshake and the expulsion of his household by firefight. The Gatling laser is superb at quickly clearing a room. However, having my arms crippled and interrupting my fire rate was definitely a hindrance. But like the tortoise in the hare, I definitely cheated and used an excessive amount of enhancement drug. I swept through the rest of the canyon, gave Jerry the Punk a lesson in history, although it's probably a historical event I cannot mention on YouTube without getting demonetized. Around this time, I wanted to confront the Omertas, but really I needed to find Joe Cobb. You don't need to interact with Joe Cobb to beat the game, but he is a very easy way to get a stealth boy. So I asked him to check the barrel of my gun for gum. some of you are gonna love that reference. The Omertas are always my least favorite faction to deal with. You either do a long-winded quest or you go out in a blaze of glory. I think you can guess what I went with. My laser cut through them finally, which is what you'd expect considering they only wear suits, even though they hand out combat armor like it's Halloween. The only head of the family I could find was Big Sal. I have no clue where Nero or Caccino are. So after eradicating the Italian mob from Vegas, I decided I have to make a speech check later to bypass this section. With the boomers, I just want to make it quick. Quick for Pearl, that is. She is resting among the plains. Loyal is deep in hell. Don't ask me why, he's lived a life of sin. Finally, it was time to choose my allegiance. I didn't want to walk down to Cottonwood Cove, so the logical choice was the NCR. Ambassador Crocker assigned me with missions that had been completed days before, then had the audacity to get upset with me. He was happy we'd no longer be working together and sent me to the Colonel at Hoover Dam. The Colonel was happier with me, to say the least. I did have to make the speech check to avoid going back to the Omertas, and within 5 minutes of meeting, I was told I'd have to protect the President. That's the NCR for you. With Mr. President landing and Legion assassins in tow, the NCR needed additional hands and I was ready to serve. I waited for the Legion assassin to kill the sniper in the tower and I said, "Hey man, that ain't cool." And I brought him down a few pegs. I radioed in the boys in blue and they took care of a crazed man with a knife. The president fled because apparently he was worried for his life, and the quest was complete. With an estimated 10 minutes of being a military contractor for the NCR, I was now talking to the general. He told me to get down and dirty, so that's exactly what I did. The lower-ranking legions dropped like flies at a light show. Well, I suppose most bugs would fly right into the lights. That's basically what happened here. The big boy legions were more resistant to energy weapons. All in all, the damage the Gatling gun does is more than adequate, especially when you have high energy weapon. I went through most of this playthrough like an idiot with roughly 50 points in that skill. You live and learn. I convinced the Rangers to take the lead. They told me to fuck myself. All those speech points for nothing. Entering the Legate's camp, I disposed of a few lackeys. I tried to disguise myself, but sure enough, it didn't work. I guess I just had one of those recognizable faces. Lanius absolutely wrecked a few Rangers with his melee build. I suppose they didn't read the patch notes. I considered the best way to take care of him. My first thought was have him pull out his grenades, shoot them, and hope the explosion would do massive big boy damage. It was decent at best, until his polearm gave me a concussion. Next, I took him head on. That was stupid. The third attempt was eliminating his entourage. But yeah, that was also stupid. In the end, I decided I would coerce him into fighting me in a one-on-one duel. This was definitely a step in the right direction, but I didn't win the fight yet. I had 2 attempts where I ran out of ammo right when I had him on the ropes. Another time, he just kept going passive and I was thinking maybe I just use a speech check. Call it quits. But that'd be stupid, and I'm tired of being stupid. So I did the good old Dark Souls method, right? I just kept ramming my head against the wall until it took. Kept restarting until I did enough damage to defeat him with what little ammo I had left. Admittedly, I have bad aim, so unloading into his head wasn't always possible. But eventually, we triumphed. The Beast of the East is fallen. And with that, I beat Fallout New Vegas with only a Gatling laser. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like and comment to support the channel, or leave a suggestion for what challenge you want to see next. Plan on December being a very big upload month for this channel, so maybe you'll see your challenge there.